Have you ever felt that no matter how much you try, things simply don't flow the way they should? I understand. I spent years believing the answer was in doing more, trying harder, planning better, meditating more deeply. I woke up before the sun to visualize my goals. I fell asleep with positive affirmations echoing in my ears. And still life seemed like a locked door before me. Opportunities slipped through my fingers. Relationships crumbled, and that internal voice wouldn't stop whispering, "What am I doing wrong?" Perhaps you are in that place now, exhausted from trying, tired of forcing, desperate for a real change that doesn't require more effort than you have already applied. What if I told you there is only one step, one single internal movement capable of reorganizing your entire reality? It is not another method. It is not another technique. It is not another spiritual practice to add to your already extensive list. In fact, it is the opposite of all that. It is something so simple and yet so profound that ancient masters like Manly P. Hall dedicated their lives to sharing this secret. A secret that is not about doing, but about undoing. Not about conquering, but about surrendering. Not about controlling, but about allowing. In the next few minutes, I will share with you the only step necessary for life to begin reorganizing naturally around you. A step that has the power to dissolve blockages, align opportunities, and restore the natural flow of abundance in all areas of your life. It is not magic. It is not a miracle. It is simply the deepest truth about how reality works. Prepare yourself to release the reins of control and discover the transformative power that has always been within your reach. You see, the great paradox of human existence is that we have been conditioned to believe that life is something we must conquer, a mountain we must climb through sheer force of will. From the moment we enter this world, we are taught that success, happiness, and fulfillment are prizes to be won through relentless effort, through struggle, through grinding, through the exhausting machinery of ambition and desire. We wake each morning armed with our strategies, our affirmations, our vision boards, our 5-year plans. We approach existence as if it were a war to be won, and ourselves the generals commanding armies of intention against the forces of circumstance. But what if everything we have been taught is backwards? What if the very act of trying to control life is precisely what blocks its natural flow? Through us, Manly P. Hall, who spent decades studying the mystery traditions of ancient civilizations, understood something that modern society has almost completely forgotten. He understood that consciousness is not something you do, but something you allow. That reality is not something you force into submission, but something you align with through inner harmony. The ancient Hermetic principle, as above, so below, speaks to this truth. Your external world is always and forever a perfect reflection of your internal state. Not your wishes, not your goals, not your carefully constructed plans, but your actual vibrational frequency, the sum total of your beliefs, assumptions, and unconscious patterns. This is where most spiritual seekers make their critical error. They learn about manifestation, about the law of attraction, about the power of positive thinking, and they approach these principles with the same controlling, grasping energy that has already failed them in every other area of life. They try to force manifestation. They try to control their thoughts every waking moment. They turn spiritual practice itself into yet another exhausting task, another item on the to-do list, another way to feel inadequate when results don't appear on their demanded timeline. But the truth, the secret that Hall and the ancient mystery schools understood, is that manifestation is not about addition. It is about subtraction. It is not about doing more. It is about being less. It is not about acquiring new techniques. It is about releasing old patterns. When a river encounters a boulder in its path, it does not stop flowing. It does not sit down and create a 5-year plan for boulder removal. It does not attend seminars on how to think positively about boulders. The river simply flows around it, it adapts, it allows, and in time, through patient, persistent, natural movement, that boulder is worn smooth, reshaped, reformed by the very force it once seemed to obstruct. You are that river. Your consciousness is that river. Life force itself, the creative power of the universe, is that river. And the boulder, the only boulder that has ever truly blocked your path, is the illusion of separation. The false belief that you are a separate self that must fight against a hostile universe to get what you need. This is the great lie that Hall spent his life helping people see through. In the Eastern traditions, they call it Maya, the veil of illusion. In Christianity, It appears in the teachings about the kingdom of heaven being within, in Hermeticism. It is expressed through the principle of mentalism, that the universe is mental, that all is mind. Every mystical tradition throughout human history, in every corner of the globe, has pointed to the same fundamental truth. You are not a separate wave fighting against the ocean. You are the ocean itself, temporarily experiencing what it is like to be a wave. And when you truly understand this, not just intellectually but experientially in the deepest core of your being, everything changes. The Buddhists speak of non-attachment, but this is perhaps the most misunderstood concept in spirituality. Non-attachment does not mean not caring. It does not mean becoming cold or indifferent or passive. It means releasing the stranglehold of expectation. It means engaging fully with life while simultaneously holding your desired outcomes loosely in an open palm rather than a clenched fist. Think about the times in your life when things flowed effortlessly, when opportunities appeared synchronistically, when the right person showed up at exactly the right moment, when solutions to problems emerged seemingly from nowhere. If you examine these experiences honestly, you will notice a common thread. You were not trying to make them happen. You were not grinding. You were not forcing. You were simply present, open, receptive, allowing. What Hall called the secret destiny, recognizing that there is an intelligence far greater than the rational mind at work in your life. An intelligence that ancient peoples called God or Spirit or the Tao or 1,000 other names. This intelligence does not need your micromanagement. It does not need your anxiety. It does not need your desperate grasping. What it needs is your surrender, your trust, your willingness to get out of your own way. When Jesus said, "Seek first the kingdom of God and all these things will be added unto you," he was not speaking metaphorically or offering religious platitudes. He was describing the precise mechanism through which reality operates. The kingdom of God is consciousness itself, pure awareness untainted by the false sense of separation. When you abide in that consciousness, when you operate from that level of being, the material circumstances of your life reorganize themselves naturally, inevitably, effortlessly. This is not wishful thinking. This is not new age fantasy. This is observable, verifiable truth. Look at any person who has achieved genuine mastery in their field, whether they are artists, athletes, scientists, or spiritual teachers. You will find the same quality, a kind of relaxed intensity, a total commitment combined with a complete lack of attachment. They have learned to channel life force rather than obstruct it. They have become clear vessels through which something greater than themselves can operate. The alchemists understood this principle deeply. Their entire symbolic system was not really about turning lead into gold, at least not literal physical lead in gold. The great work, as they called it, was about the transformation of consciousness itself, about turning the heavy, dense, leaden quality of ego identification into the golden radiance of awakened awareness. Every alchemical text, every mysterious diagram and cryptic formula was pointing to this one central truth. The philosopher's stone. The ultimate goal of alchemy is not a substance. It is a state of being. It is what happens when you finally stop trying to be something other than what you already are. I am going to pause here for a moment, because I sense that something important is happening as you listen to me. Perhaps you are feeling that knot in your throat, that emotion that arises when a deep truth touches something inside you. You have been living in this cycle of effort and disappointment for so long, have you not? How many times have you asked yourself in silence, why do I keep trying so hard and still? It feels like I am rowing against the current. You are not alone in this feeling. In fact, this is the exact moment where many give up, thinking that perhaps they will never be able to create the life they feel they deserve. I want you to do something simple, but profoundly powerful right now. Share in the comments, "I release control and allow life to flow naturally through me." This is not just a beautiful phrase, it is a declaration to the universe, a shift in the energetic frequency you emit. And something extraordinary happens when we express this in words. First, you acknowledge this pattern in your own life. Second, you help countless other people who are reading the comments right now. People who thought they were the only ones feeling this exhaustion from constant struggle. Your comment can be the light. Someone needed to see today the confirmation that they are not alone, that there is another path beyond control and effort. So please share now. This small act of courage may be the first step toward a profound transformation, not only for you, but for everyone who will be touched by your words. Now let us go deeper into what this surrender actually means, because the word itself carries so much cultural baggage. In a society that worships hustle culture, that glorifies the grind, that measures human worth by productivity and achievement, surrender sounds like weakness. It sounds like giving up, like admitting defeat, but this could not be further from the truth. The surrender. I am speaking about the surrender that Hall and the mystery schools taught is not passive. It is the most active thing you can do. It is not resignation. It is a recognition. Recognition that you are not the small, limited, fearful ego that you have believed yourself to be. Recognition that life is not happening to you, but through you, and as you. When you truly surrender, you do not become less, you become more. You stop being a droplet of water anxiously trying to stay separate, and you recognize yourself as the ocean. When a seed falls into the earth, it must surrender its seed form to become a tree. It does not stop being itself. It becomes more fully itself. It fulfills its destiny not through resistance but through absolute surrender to the process of transformation. This is what Hall meant when he spoke about the soul's journey through the mysteries. Each ancient mystery school, whether in Egypt, Greece, India, or the Americas, taught the same fundamental curriculum: the death and rebirth of the self, the death of the false self, the conditioned self, the self constructed from societal expectations, family patterns, and unconscious beliefs, and the birth of the true self, the eternal self, the self that was never born and can never die. You might be thinking, but I have tried surrender before. I have tried letting go, and nothing changed. I understand this frustration, but I would gently suggest that what you tried was not true surrender. What most people call surrender is actually a subtle form of manipulation. They let go with an agenda. They release control while secretly keeping one hand on the steering wheel. They say, I surrender to the universe. But what they really mean is, I surrender to the universe giving me exactly what I want, exactly when I want it. True surrender has no agenda. True surrender is the willingness to be completely transformed, even if that transformation looks nothing like what you expected. It is the willingness to die to your current self-concept, to your cherished ideas about how life should unfold, to your demands about what you deserve. The mystics called this the dark night of the soul, and every genuine spiritual seeker encounters it at some point. It is that moment when everything you thought you knew stops working, when all your spiritual practices seem to lose their power, when God or the universe or life itself seems to have abandoned you. But this darkness is not punishment. It is purification. It is the burning away of everything false, everything constructed, everything that stands between you and direct recognition of what you truly are. Hall studied the symbolism of death and resurrection across all cultures and found the same teaching everywhere. You must die before you die, so that when you die, you do not die. The ego must dissolve while you are still alive, so that you can discover the deathless awareness that was always here, always present, always untouched by the drama of circumstances. This awareness is what the Hindus call Atman, what the Buddhists call Buddha nature, what Christians call the Christ within. It is not something you achieve. It is something you are. It is not something you become. It is something you remember. And the moment of remembering is always now. Not tomorrow after you have meditated for 10,000 hours. Not next year after you have healed all your trauma. Not in some distant future when you have finally become worthy. It is now. It has always been now. It will only ever be now. The great illusion. The illusion that creates all suffering is the belief that fulfillment exists somewhere in time, that happiness is something you will experience when you get the job, when you meet the partner, when you lose the weight, when you make the money, when you achieve enlightenment. But time is itself the illusion. Past and future exist only as thoughts in the present moment. The past is a memory happening now. The future is a projection happening now. There is only this eternal now in which all of life unfolds. When you truly understand this, really understand it in your bones, something miraculous occurs. The desperate seeking stops, not because you have given up, but because you have Realize there is nowhere to go. You are already here. Life is already happening, the kingdom is already within. The treasure you have been seeking across the world is buried in your own backyard and always has been. This is what Hall meant by the secret teachings. The secret is that there is no secret. The truth has always been obvious, always available, always right in front of you, hiding in plain sight, like the eye that cannot see itself. You have simply been looking in the wrong direction. You have been looking out there for what can only be found in here. So what is this one step? This singular movement that changes everything? It is this. Stop trying to become something other than what you are in this moment. Stop resisting what is. Stop arguing with reality. Stop the exhausting internal war between what is and what you think should be. This does not mean you stop growing. It does not mean you stop evolving. It does not mean you accept circumstances that genuinely need to change. What it means is that you stop creating suffering through resistance. You meet this moment exactly as it is. You say yes to what is, while simultaneously working toward what could be. The ancient Stoics understood this perfectly. They distinguished between what is within your control and what is beyond your control. Your efforts, your intentions, your actions. These are within your control. The results, the outcomes, the way reality responds, these are not. And peace comes from investing your energy fully in what you can. Control while remaining completely unattached to what you cannot. This is the one step. Radical acceptance of the present moment as the doorway through which all transformation must pass. Not acceptance as resignation, but acceptance as recognition. This is what is. And from that recognition, from that total honesty about what is, you can take clear, aligned action that flows from presence, rather than panic from wisdom, rather than fear from love, rather than lack. You are not broken. You do not need fixing. You are not behind. You are not running out of time. You are exactly where you need to be, learning exactly what you need to learn, experiencing exactly what your soul chose to experience before you ever entered this body. This is not spiritual bypassing. This is not toxic positivity. This is the deepest truth Hall and the mystery schools could offer. The universe is not random. It is not chaotic. It is not indifferent. You are not an accident floating through a meaningless void. You are consciousness itself having a temporary human experience, and that experience with all its pain and beauty, all its challenges and triumphs is exactly what you signed up for. When you stop fighting against life and start flowing with it, everything shifts. The same challenges that once seemed like obstacles reveal themselves as opportunities. The same people who once seemed like enemies reveal themselves as teachers. The same circumstances that once seemed like curses reveal themselves as blessings in disguise. This is not because anything external has changed. It is because you have changed. The lens through which you perceive reality has shifted. And since reality is always and only ever a reflection of consciousness, when consciousness shifts, reality must shift with it. This is the one step. Trust life, trust the process. Trust that you are held by something far greater than your rational mind can comprehend. Trust that you are loved beyond measure. Trust that you are guided even when you cannot see. The path trust that everything, absolutely everything, is unfolding exactly as it must. And from that trust take whatever action feels aligned in this moment. Not from desperation, but from inspiration. Not from fear, but from love. Not from lack, but from abundance that already exists within you. This is how you step into your secret destiny. This is how you activate the transformative power Hall spoke about. This is how you finally allow life to reorganize itself around your true nature, rather than continuing to exhaust yourself, trying to reorganize life according to your limited plans. If something inside you resonated with these words, if you felt that small spark of recognition in the depths of your soul, do not let this moment be lost. This was not just another coincidence on your path. The fact that you are here now listening to these words is a sign of your readiness to awaken to a deeper truth about life. If you are tired of struggling, of forcing, of trying to control every detail only to watch your efforts dissolve like sand through your fingers, this channel exists for you, not as another source of complex spiritual techniques or practices that only add more weight to your journey, but as a space of remembrance of return to the simplicity that the system made us forget. By subscribing, you are not just following a channel. You are declaring to the universe your willingness to release the reins of control and make space for life to flow naturally through you. Each video we share here is like a mirror for your own internal wisdom, a gentle reminder of truths your soul already knows but your conditioned mind may have forgotten. Also, activate the notification bell, not from our desire to increase views, but because the moments when these messages reach you are rarely accidental. Often the video that appears in your feed is exactly the message your soul was seeking in that moment. Share also with someone you feel is going through this same internal process of seeking someone who, perhaps, is on the edge of this awakening. Sometimes all we need is a different perspective for our entire reality to reconfigure itself. And remember, you were never alone on this journey. There are many of us walking side by side, rediscovering together what it means to live in harmony with the nature of reality, instead of fighting against it. Until our next meeting, allow yourself to breathe, allow yourself to be, allow yourself to simply exist, without the weight of having to fix, control, or improve. You are already complete. You are already enough. You are already everything you need to be.